Good evening, sports fans! My name is Crobat for the win, owner of the Los Angeles Nidoqueens. Today we have our GBA Week 4 match versus the Roger Rabbit Showdown, owner of the Denver Bronzongs. He's in our division, and this is our first divisional matchup, so it's definitely an important game. While he hasn't had the best start to the season, that means nothing going into this game. It's sure to be a good one, so let's jump into it right now! So he's definitely packing the dual bat core this week, Crobat and Noivern. He's also carrying Jellicent, which I'm not a big fan of, but I do have a lot to take it down, because I prepared specifically to take down Jellicent. Nothing on my team has a water-type move, let's just put it that way. He leads with Emboar, I lead with Raikou. I'm fearing the Scarf Emboar, by the way he led off with it, so that's why I'm just going to go out of it. Raikou and go into Slowking, who's our new addition. He's going to switch into Nidoqueen, which would have been a good play normally, but I moved it to Slowking. Slowking's just going to go for Psych. There's really no need to overpredict first turn. That does a nice amount to Jellicent, no complaints. I'm going to switch out because I just want to scout for Toxic or Will-O-Wisp or whatever. I'm going to go into Raikou, which can just Volt Switch out of there. Maybe he'll go for Taunt, that's possible as well. He goes for Sub, that's not bad at all. Hopefully that bluffs the fact that I don't have Toxic, or I do have Toxic actually, but I hope that makes him think that I don't. I'm going to Volt Switch out of there just to break the Sub, and seeing that he just went for a Sub, and because I have Grass Knot, I can just go for that safely. With Slowking, I'm going to go back into Slowking. McLaurin. He's going to go for Scald. Could get a burn. If he gets a burn, it's really not the end of the world, because Slowking's a special attacker, gets leftovers, has Slack Off, Regenerator. It's all good for our friend Slowking. Oh, Jellicent's gonna go for a Will-O-Wisp, not a Sub. I go for a Grass Knot because I thought he might go for Sub this time. But now that he sees that I have the Grass Knot, he's not gonna go for Subs anymore. That would be silly. So I'm predicting, honestly, I think he'll go for a Recover at this point. He does go for the Recover right there. That's totally fine because I know I can outstall this Jellicent, because since I have Toxic, which I will go for eventually, and Grass Knot to wither its health away. The Jellicent's sitting at half while my Slowking has absolutely no damage at all. He goes for the Will-O-Wisp, which does hit this time. It's going to be a minor nuisance, not a big deal. I'm going to go for the Toxic. That's a bigger nuisance to him, definitely. So I can easily go for the Grass Knot here, but I'm thinking here. Well, he'd probably switch out. He doesn't want the Toxic to rack up. He doesn't want that I go for a Grass Knot, so he's going to switch. And I'm going to go into the end zone for a touchdown. It's a one-handed catch. Psychic on the Crobat, go!
And Manning's going to heave one. There's a flag. Back from the one-handed catch.
This is sick. Put this to music.
I'm quite happy with that prediction right there. That was a very nice play on my part, definitely. So Slowking has now done a lot of damage to his team so far, and it's going to be vital to the rest of the game, that's for certain. Crobat sitting there less than a quarter, definitely can't switch if I can get Stealth Rocks up, so I'm going to go into Empoleon to hopefully do that. He just goes for the U-turn, which I thought also was kind of, if I took one of those, that's not the end of the world either, that's good. He goes into Nidoqueen. I'm not a fan of Nidoqueen because, well, I don't carry Scald. I have Ice Beam, but it probably won't do very much. And I also don't want to take an Earth Power, so I'm going to go into my Slowking here, which can do some decent damage with a Psychic to Nidoqueen. Might be specially defensive, but I'm not totally sure based on his team structure. It might be. The only thing he really has to take on my Mega Pinsir is that Diancie, though, realistically. I'm just going to go for Psychic. There's really no need to overpredict this early. Still fairly early in the game. I also have Grass Knot, and I know Burn's not going to get progressively worse, so his damage is going to get progressively worse. Well, that's what I know. So, I'm going to switch out. I'm going to go into Empoleon, Sign 2X. I'm going to hope to get up some rocks, maybe get a Grass Knot off, because my Empoleon also carries Grass Knot. It's carrying Ice Beam and Grass Knot for coverage against the rest of his team. No Scald, which is very unusual. Usually I would run Scald, but this week, because of Jellicent, I decided not to. And I think it worked out in my favor, seeing this match so far. I'm going to set rocks up, which is a really good thing, because he has 2 bats on his team, and not only that, I can just get some consistent damage on everything else. He goes for the Will-O-Wisp, I really don't care. Empoleon's a special attacker, that's not bad at all. Toxic's going to do a nice amount of damage. I'm sitting at 94% health or whatever, as I just go for the Grass Knot, which he does not see coming from anywhere on planet Earth or Mars. He goes for Scald, that does literally nothing because Empoleon's a beast. It takes that so well. And after the toxic damage, this Jellicent, the biggest threat on his team, is going down. He's going Timber. No, I'm not going to do that.
Boom, shakalaka.
There you go. That's my poor attempt at being funny for the day. My Empoleon is sitting at 80% health. Not too bad, I guess. Emboar's here. I'm not keen on taking anything from Emboar. Flare Blitz is pretty obvious, so I'm going to go into McLaurin, my new Slowking. Flare Blitz does not too much. I mean, that's pretty powerful. That's reckless and everything. It does less than 50, so that's nice. That's really nice. Hopefully this Emboar doesn't have Wild Charge, but I EV this Slowking, so that way it could take 2 Wild Charges, even with Reckless. So, it looks like he doesn't have it, because by the way he switches. Goes into Noivern, that's totally fine. I can get some Rocks damage off, I could get a Psychic. That's fine. I actually go for Slack Off, because I thought, like I said, I wanted to scout if he had the Wild Charge, and it's a 2-hit KO, I don't know, very, very small percentage of the time, so I figured Slack Off would just be a safe play. I wanted to now go into Empoleon, which basically counters Noivern unless he carries Focus Blast, which isn't very common on Noivern due to its other important coverage moves. So he does go for the U-turn. Focus Blast is definitely still in the back of my mind, although I'm not gonna say without certainty that he doesn't have it. We'll see what happens, certainly. Nidoqueen versus Empoleon, I'm going to switch out again. I'm hoping he doesn't have Stealth Rocks, so he doesn't set them up. I could have maybe stayed into Defog and predict that, but I'm not going to. That's too risky. Slowking's here, though, and Slowking can definitely do a lot of damage to his team still. He goes into Noivern, which is going to take some Stealth Rock damage. That's really nice. I gotta get the Psychic off. I mean, maybe I wish at times I kind of had the Ice Beam instead of Psychic. If I did, that would have KO'd right there, but oh well, it's not the end of the world. I think Psychic did just fine anyways. Gonna switch out, gonna go into Empoleon, and I'm pretty darn sure this thing is probably choiced. I haven't seen any kind of item on it. It's probably Scarf or something, just to outspeed everything on my team. I don't know, maybe Specs for all I know. We'll see. I mean, maybe it's something like that. Who knows? But it's not. Yep, I'm pretty sure that thing is Expert Belt, which he bluffed that pretty well. I'll give him that. That's a dead Empoleon. He's got a KO. That Focus Miss hit. Oh, well, I can go into Weavile, though, which is easily going to Ice Shard this thing. Also, I have Rocks up, so he's not going to want to switch. He has no way of getting them away since he has no Defogger anywhere. That's a dead Noivern, so we're getting some KOs again. Emboar's here, which is not very fun. It's going to take some Stealth Rocks out, which is nice. I'm going to go into our good new friend Slowking, McLaurin. Try doing a McLaurin series after this match, if you're daring, of course. He's going to go for a Head Smash, which is actually going to do a little bit more than I would have liked, but still not enough to 2-hit KO at that point. So Slowking is still a very good check to Emboar. I might need a little bit of Regenerator as well. I'd also like to get just a little bit more recoil damage off, because I want to be absolutely certain that a Psychic will KO. So I'm going to go into Tangrowth, which should definitely take a Head Smash. And I'm going to obviously, after this, switch back into Slowking, predicting a Flare Blitz. I know that Emboar has leftovers. I just like to get that in. If I could get that thing into yellow, I will be 99% certain that Slowking will be able to KO, and that's exactly what I want to do. So, Flare Blitz, like I thought, right here. It's going to do, once again, about just under 50, which is nice, or around 50 anyways, 40. He's at a good range now. I he's on the cusp. I really think Psychic should be able to KO. Not looking forward to taking a head smash, though. This is going to do a lot. It might become really close to KOing, but...
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 15, the 10. He dives, touchdown, 49ers.
Slowking, you're a ninja! You completely dodged that tackle from Emboar 4 times, like our friend Steve Young. And look at that, Slowking got a touchdown. So we're doing good here. Certainly, Slowking has been a huge factor in this game. People said this trade was useless. It's not. Let's just say that. Goes into Diancie. I'm at a bit too low of health to take it on, so I'm going to let Regenerator do its work. I'm going to go into Tangrowth, which can take anything from Diancie or Mega Diancie. I'm predicting the Diamond Storm, and that's totally fine if he wants to go for that, because I know that Tangrowth has naturally good defense, and it can take that very well. It takes that really well, yeah, definitely. Moonblast is here now, which is just barely going to miss out on the KO, and he's going to get the special attack drop, which is kind of bad. My Giga Drain isn't going to do nearly as much now. That might have been on the cusp of KOing, maybe, if I didn't get that, but oh well, not the end of the world. I'm going to go into Raikou because I didn't want to lose Tangrowth yet, and I thought Raikou could take a Moonblast. Unfortunately, he goes for the Diamond Storm, which I guess is a good play in his part, because I think that makes more sense, as it might give him the defense raise, which could be useful to him. Certainly. I'm going to go for the Volt Switch as he protects. He's going to go into Crobat just to fodder it off. That's totally fine. It's gone. Doesn't get a KO at all. Nothing gets a KO, but oh well. Going to go for the extra sensory. And here's my biggest misplay of the game. I misclicked here and went for the Magnet Rise. I was running a damage calc with Mega Pinsir on his Diancie, and I just clicked Magnet Rise for some reason.
It's snapped over the head of Peyton Manning. A flag is down, and the ball's out of the back of the end zone.
Safety.
What I wanted to do was go for extra sensory, so that way that thing would be at half health, so Mega Pinsir could get a guaranteed OHKO on it. Instead, I have to go into Slowking just to get a Psychic off, and he's going to get an extra KO as a result, because Slowking's not going to be able to take 2 Sludge Waves after the burn. I'm kicking myself for that misclick. I'm kind of sad about that. That was kind of a big mistake on my part. It won't happen again, because I will be more careful in the future to make sure that I click the right button when I'm running damage calcs. My hand just, I can't even describe it, but it was just sad. Not the end of the world, I guess. I am going to go into Mega Pinsir now that this thing's at around half health. Gonna get a big return off. Return is gonna send Nidoqueen into 2050, because that's how powerful it is. That's a dead Nidoqueen, and its last Pokemon is Mega Diancie, which will definitely faint to a quick attack after Stealth Rocks. It should do about 20-25% in a normal day, so that's definitely less than 20, and it does KO. So, I do end up getting the win, a 3-0 win. Very solid game, that's for sure. I should have had a 4-0 if I didn't misclick on Magnet Rise. I carried Magnet Rise for Nidoqueen, but I didn't want to use it there. It was in the beginning of the game. I was thinking, okay, if I Volt Switch first turn and he goes into Nidoqueen, I'll just Magnet Rise when he goes for Earth Power. I didn't want to use it there. But, oh well. It is what it is. Not the end of the world. I'll take any kind of victory. This was a still strong victory. I still made some great plays in this match. And here to talk about the game with us is New York Giants coach Tom Coughlin. So, Mr. Coughlin, what are your thoughts about today's game?
First thing I want to say is the game today was a very physical game. We knew that we were coming into that. We knew it would be very, very physical. It was. There were some distractions in the first half. You know, we got under control. We came in at halftime, and I think we had it all settled.
I agree with you there, Coach. The Raikou misclick distraction was pretty bad, but it was good to see the team settle down with a win after that happened. It's a learning experience for sure. So what are your thoughts on the collective performance of the team?
The one thing that I complimented our players on was that we did not allow any distraction to keep us from the reason that we came here. We came to win, and we did win. And, you know, we continue to play good, solid football. We got some points today. We got +3, and we gave up some plays, and we got some big plays. So that kind of evened itself out.
Thank you, Coach Coughlin, for your remarks about this week's game. So, all the pundits are calling us a long shot. I'm not going to name names at all, but certain pundits are putting us at number 10 on their lists, even when we're second in our own division. We reached this point only through hard work and determination. We've been growing a sense of confidence as a team and as a coach. When I see them play, I see them flourish. So we're sitting in second in the blue division, the toughest division in the GBA, and we're going to continue to make a push, make a wave, make an upset. We've always been the underdog, so why should that change? Next week we face Gubstacular, the biggest powerhouse in the league. We did defeat him in the Season 1 championship. We've never lost to him, but don't let that give you a false sense of confidence. It's going to be our biggest challenge to date. No amount of auto-winning curse will grant us an easy win. This is the week where we prove all the haters wrong. This is the week where we prove that we truly are the biggest dark horse in the league. And we'll always be that way. We've been that way since Season 1. And you know what? We're going to go out there next week, give it our best, and strive for a W against the best team in the league. See you next week, guys.